Heidi hi campers, it is I, Ladaz, again. So, yeah, it's been a rough few weeks. The old bone degeneration in the jaw is now left with no teeth at the front, no teeth up this side. I'm struggling to eat at the minute, which is not much fun. Got to have some new teeth made. So, yeah, I've been feeling a bit under the weather and a bit grumpier than usual. Impossible, I hear you say, but yeah, it is possible. I can be even more grumpy. I've been surveying the damage the rats have done to the pond and trying to shore it up a little bit so I'm not pumping gallons of water into the garden unnecessarily. And it's a bit worse than I thought it was, so it's almost certainly going to be a rebuild on the pond. But as is typical for Skeggy, I'm going to do it the way they say it can't be done. Or try to anyway. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Plans are afoot, experiments are being done, and hopefully I'll be able to do something a little bit differently. No surprise there. Been sorting through some of the fish out of the grow on, whatever you want to call it, the isolation tank. Some of those have gone into the main pond now. Not really been doing very much. Been to see Davey at the weekend. Went and had a rattle with him for a few hours, and Pete and Kopi, and yeah, they were lugging bricks about, which I wasn't doing because of the shoulders. But yeah, we had a bit of a rattle. Went down to Walker and then came home again. All good fun. But as is typical for me, I want to talk about something. Call it a bit of a myth buster, if you like. And as most people know about me, I'm a bit of a stickler for terms and things being used in the right way. And the one I wanted to cover today is the term azagari. Because you hear it used quite a lot, and I think the definition of azagari has been lost. And the actual translation of azagari from Japanese is it basically means under custody or under the supervision of. Now, azagari, back in the day when I was helping finalise the design of the wheel, and we had to get rid of those pesky corners because they didn't like them being square, azagari was something a little bit special. It was basically something that the breeder did if they felt the fish was good enough. If they felt the fish was something special, you had the opportunity to leave it in Japan and have it grown on for a season with the breeder. Azagari at the minute seems to be any fish that's kept in a pond at a dealer's over winter or for any period of time. Azagari in koi is a very specific thing. It's to be grown on at the breeders in the mud ponds, in the mountains, under ideal conditions for an entire season. Not just for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, an entire season. So you're going from Tosai to Nisai and Nisai to Sansai, but you're doing an entire season in the mud ponds, the autumn harvest. It comes in then to the fish house. goes back out, and then the following autumn harvest is when your azagari finishes, and you decide whether you want to leave it azagari for another season or whether you're going to take the fish home or what you're going to do with it. And azagari is, it may seem expensive, but it's actually very good value for money. It costs between £600 and £1,200 a season to leave a fish out in Japan. And there are certain rules to azagari, which you can go and Google, you can go and find out all the rules. I've not done extensive research into this recently, but I know there are rules to it. But I'm just going on what I know about azagari. And yeah, there seems to be quite a few people using the term in a very, very loose way. I don't know why they feel the need to use a term that is something quite specific. But there you go. That's azagari as far as I know what azagari is. And I'm sure someone will pop along and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Sorry, my shoulder's starting to ache holding the phone. I'm sure someone will pop along and either confirm or deny what I've said. But I know certainly back in the day, it was something quite special and quite a privilege to have a fish kept azagari. So yeah, just a quickie. So I've done a little bit of footage of some of the fish I moved into the main pond, which I'll put up afterwards. I did a little bit of footage of the damage the rats have done and what my plan was to try and sort some of that out. Probably lost a few thousand litres off the pond, but it is what it is. It's better than pumping water into the pond all day long. And I should have put this on tripod really. Pumping water into the pond all day long and having it just pour into the garden. It seems a ridiculous waste of water. So yeah, that's what I've been up to this week. Thanks again to Paul Smith for all the help. He's a little diamond bloke, that guy. Don't know what to do without him. What else? Oh yeah, lots of video of the reefers launch day. Looked like people had a good time. Yeah, looks like he's starting to pull it off. It's all starting to come together. So all good fun. Yeah, wish him well with that one. A lot of blood, sweat and tears has gone into that place, so yeah, he deserves to do well. That's really it. Not a lot else really. So I'll stick up a couple of clips, a couple of photos, and yeah, that'll be me until the next one. Ciao guys. Oh, and I forgot to say, Skegness Pond Supplies, I now have a separate phone number for WhatsApp and Telegram and that sort of thing. Trying to separate my work life from a private life, so the number will be in the description, but I'll give it to you here. It's 07812 671 886. If you can stick that in your phones and use that for anything work related, that would be absolutely wonderful. Oh, and just officially got a account direct with EA, so I will now be doing the old Takazumi food. So if you're after any Takazumi, give me a shout and I'll see what I can sort out for you. Catch you later. Look at these dickheads. got another great big hole there. And then we've got another hole there. And we've got another hole there. And we've got more holes here that they've been chewing through. And just literally holes everywhere. All this has come from behind the liner. So my cunning plan for the time being is to put a sleeper across there and one across the other corner over there, bring the liner forward and bring it across the top, and hopefully I'll get rid of the holes then. So this is my goshki from the A-class koi Boulding Reefer Growing Show, which seems to have died a death. I mean, nobody seems to do anything in the group, but anyway, she is about 24-25 centimetres now. I mean, it's time he went in the main pond and had a play with the big boys. But yeah, he came out alright, not too bad. Lovely Benny, lovely Benny, and the robing is starting to really come out. I'm getting closer on that. Next up is my Commonwealth that I got from New Forest the other week. Again, about 24 centimetres. So, be interested to see how this develops. That one's going to go in the main pond today as well. This is an interesting one. I'm not quite sure how to classify that. Maybe someone can tell me what brand it is, shall we say. This one I got from Kiri Koi. It's a fish from Daz's Koi Farm. You'll notice it's got a bit of gill flare, but it's yeah, it's not too bad. It's about 22 centimetres, and that one was in the fish tank up until a few weeks ago. So yeah, it's done quite well. And here we have the Dainichi fish. Now I'm going to say this is actually a Makashiogan, not the Matsuba as was on the description. Just got that feeling it's more a Makashi. 25 centimetres. Seems to have settled in okay. So I think we'll put that in the main pond as well. Did somebody say Tancho Goshki? This one's about 20 centimetres. Got him from Walker Koi last season. He's still got a bit of development to do. Nice little fish. Two more out of the tank, both about 24 centimetres again. A Kiyotsuchi and a Crashigoid from Walker Koi. And the Kiyotsuchi was from Aurora Koi. Just starting to go yellow now with the sunlight. It had been kept indoors, so it's looking very washed out. It's still quite washed out, but it is improving. One of the Mark Gardner bloodline from New Forest Koi I picked up the other day. About 20 centimetres. That's a bit of a development fish, that one. Who remembers Lucky? Lucky was the chag that got skewered by the heron, and I managed to save him. And believe it or not, he's actually survived. He's looking a bit worse for wear, but he has survived and he is healing. And you see that hole in the top there? That's where the heron actually skewered him right through. Hence why it's called Lucky. Alright, 32 centimetre Taniguchi golden corn. A bit of a marmite fish. Fortunately I like marmite. I think Rob Walker cried when I won this at the auction at what I paid for it. But that is the joy of auctions. Let's just say it was cheap as chips. But it'll be interesting to see what happens to this one. As we all know, golden corns have a bit of a checkered history with development, so we'll see what happens. This is another fish I got off Kiri Koi. This is another one from Daz's Koi Farm. It now sits at 22 centimetres. This originally was a Tancho shower, but it totally lost its Tancho spot. It's now developing into quite a nice shiro. So, but yeah, that's put on some good growth, that. Another Kiyotsuuri from Aurora Koi. Looks like this one's gone Ginrin. So again, they were kept indoors, so they were very, very pale on the yellow, but it is starting to darken up slowly. Nice fish.